everybody, it's Daryn Wood, and welcome back to another episode of The Gift of Gab, and I'm joined here by my lovely and beautiful best friend, Haugen. Say hello.
Hey.
All right, another you're welcome. Today, we're going to talk about all the changes made to the Bard class from the 2014 Player's Handbook to the 2024 Player's Handbook. Yes, we read both books at length and compared them just for you, so you didn't have to. So we're going to get into it and dive right in with the spellcasting style.
Yeah. So I'm going to start us out with what the heck is going on? So in the book, they specified that bards changed from known spellcasters to prepared spellcasters. Mm-hmm. And when I hear or read that, I'm thinking a spellcaster that every day after a long rest prepares their set of spells and their spell list.
As opposed to known spells, which is like you get a set number of spells. You can cast them anytime from your spell lots, but it's a limited number of spells.
Correct. But the book specifically states that bards and their prepared spells can only be changed out of the entire bard spell list, but only when they level.
Yeah, this one is really confusing. I had to go in, because like I said, we read the book for you. So when I first read that, because it says changing prepared spells. And it says that a bard, when you level up, can change one spell on your list to another spell from the bard spell list. But you're still choosing from the pool of bard spells, but you change it when you level up. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just like, the language is weird. And that just means that if you want to change something. So I scrolled down to cleric, okay, flip, whatever it is. Flip, scroll, whatever, to cleric. And on theirs, it says changing prepared spells. And it says what we usually think, which is when you want to change your prepared spells, once you have a long rest, you can change all of the spells that you have to other spells in the cleric list. So it does specify, and the language is very different for the prepared spellcasters, the prepared list for clerics than it is for bards. So it's like you are preparing spells from the bard list, but you can only change it when you levels.
Yeah, I guess I'm not really understanding the major differences and why they used the language specifically to let us know that they changed from a known spellcaster to a prepared spellcaster, but put that level up limit on
is that because,
being a prepared spellcaster?
Is that to limit what bard has access to? Because this is something that comes up later, guys. Sorry to kind of jump the gun here, but bard and ranger changed to prepared spellcast. I'm saying prepared. Sorcerer and warlocks are still known spells, but before, magical secrets used to let bard choose from any class. Mm-hmm. Now when they get magical secrets, they only get to choose from...
Yeah, well, they already limited that. Exactly.
Yeah, so that's why I'm wondering, without jumping the gun too much, if they're trying to limit the amount of access bard has to other spells. So it's like, oh, you can prepare this list of spells, but you can only pick a few per level.
Sure, but you're still just preparing each time you level from the bard pool, which is only barely more expansive than a known spellcaster.
So what's the point?
I think I need somebody to explain to me like I'm a 3-year-old or a 3rd grader. What's the difference here? I think I'm not understanding just based on the actual
explain it to
language.
a 3-year-old. I'm like, well, magic.
Yeah. Yeah. Speak to me slowly and tell me why.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand what this change specifically accomplishes.
Mm-hmm. Just because of the chosen language that they're using that's
or
confusing
maybe
me.
We're dumb and I read that wrong, but I feel like because of how differently it's worded between the different magical classes, I don't know. But based on what we're interpreting it's prepared now, quote unquote, it's prepared, but you still can only change it when you level up. But you do have more spells known earlier. So you have 10 spells by level 6, which it previously used to be 9.
However, that flips. It reverts back as by the time that you get up to level 16, it kind of evens out again. And by the time that you're at level 20, you actually have less spells. And not jumping the gun too far, but that is because of the differences in magical secrets. We'll get there.
This seems like weird semantics. Either way, I would love to hear someone play test in real life, like how this change has affected them. But a good thing A good thing is bardic inspiration duration increased from 10 minutes to 1 hour.
Which I think is so good
Yeah.
because, 1 minute is really good in combat specifically because you have whole 10 rounds
That
to use
part.
it. But anytime you're outside of combat, 1 minute, that's
Yeah.
so fast. There's no utility for a bardic inspiration outside of combat with just a minute. So
Yeah, I think that really helps encourage that bard is meant to be a support, not entirely martially combat focused class. It's meant to be versatile. It's meant to be use it in different circumstances other than just battle. So it's like, remember when we were going over the 2024 spell changes in another video, and we were talking about, we're like, oh, you have these new actions, and the actions were just like roll for a charisma check. I think this is
Yes.
one of the ways where it's like, yes, please use bardic inspiration other times outside of combat. This
Yeah.
is, you can help your friends whenever you want.
It's exactly. It really beefs up that role play option, or, you're trekking through dynamic terrain or environment and you give your party member a bardic inspiration. So now they have that to use on those ability checks.
Yeah.
It's not just for combat.
Yeah. And now the only bad part is I have to remember extra long that I have bardic inspiration. Up the chance of me forgetting. So that
Yeah.
But
you
I-
got to get a cool token.
yeah, so you did give me a token when you were like,
Yeah.
here is your
You got to get
bardic
a cool
inspiration.
reminder so you have it right there. Although sometimes I'll have those and I'll still forget I have a
Yeah,
bardic.
my
I'll be
ADHD
holding it
Yeah.
and not remember to use my bardic.
My ADHD brain, like, somehow it's just like, it like removes itself from my memory, and then I just, but when you're a bard and when you are playing any character that can cast bless or anything like that, it is your actual job to, every time someone rolls, be like, you have bardic inspiration, bless, bardic inspiration, bless.
You're blessed. You have a bardic.
It's your job.
Yeah. They also, so you get expertise a little earlier. You get it at level 2 now instead of level 3. Kind of beefs up your ability to have more skills, be a jack of all trades.
They probably did that because, like, now everything, we'll mention this in lots of other videos, but everything subclass wise starts at level 3. So any features that were tied to subclass stuff have now gotten pushed back to level 3. So I think that was probably a way to, like, balance it and be like, oh, you get something. You get something at level 2.
Yeah.
They did remove Song of Rest.
I wonder why.
I don't know why either. Like, that's one where I'm like, it just, all it was, if I recall correctly, was just allowing you to roll all of your hit, or get the highest rolls on your hit dice if you are doing a short rest.
Yeah, you basically sing a song while you're taking a short rest and everybody gets to use
The max points of their hit dice. I don't know.
I don't think
Was
that
that
was
that
really
crazy?
OP. Yeah.
Was it so OP? Like,
Does it feel more balanced now?
Yeah, like, guys, relax with your Song of Rest, all right? You're too
Yeah.
rested.
You're going to roll that hit die.
Yeah.
You're
so
going to roll it on your short
instead
rest.
of your D8,
you might get a 1.
Like, what?
Yeah. You
That
feel
is-
unrested? Too bad.
That's one of those ones I don't. Okay.
That's
sure.
a choice.
Like, there are going to be other ones we come across where when they remove it or they change it, I go, yeah. That's crazy that existed, actually. That is so OP. That one, that was like a nothing burger that was removed. So maybe it's because it was a nothing burger. Maybe they're like, this dumb.
Yeah. They were like, okay, wasn't that cool. Get rid of it.
At that point, what? Who? I don't know.
Whatever. Yeah, they kept at level 5 Font of Inspiration. They kept that the same, except for on theme with all of the other ones is you do have the ability to use a bardic inspiration slot in order to restore that.
Yeah, so we'll say, if you haven't watched our other videos, this is something that's common in all of the classes. In addition to getting something maybe once per long rest, you're now able to expend one of your class feature uses, whether that's, Barbarian Rage, Bardic Inspiration, to regain use of features.
Counter Charm was a good change, I think. So they changed it. It used to be a full action and a performance. And that took basically 2 of your turns because you had to start the performance on your turn and you had to continue that performance in order to give your party member advantage on a saving throw. Now it's just a reaction,
Yeah.
and you don't have to use so much of your action economy.
Yeah, and it's also at level 7 instead of level 6 now. And it used to be something that you could give to anyone within 30 feet of you. Now it's like you choose one person that can re-roll a failed save to being charmed or frightened. So it's more. So it's not as like a group effect either, but it is better because it ends up being in reaction to something that's already happening, as opposed to being like, we are going to be charmed or frightened, so because of that I'm going to start this performance, and then hopefully everybody here, I don't know, we said this in our previous video, or you mentioned it, that like a lot of these things are going to be done so they're taken away from hyper specific moments and are more, have more utility in generic
Exactly.
settings.
So if you're fighting a big bad and the entire party is now charmed or frightened, unfortunately your 2-turn performance isn't going to save everybody all at once. But outside of that very specific scenario happening, you have more opportunities to assist a friend that is potentially going to fail a charmed or frightened save. And now you can be like, try again.
Yeah, it's one of those things that is definitely better. I'm going to say this a lot when we're talking about all of these changes and things. All of the changes are more boring, but they do make sense. Like, that just makes sense. Like, it is funny to, like, RP wise, to instigate a performance or be like, I'm a bard, so I'm
still singing.
I'm charming all these people, but you know, now it's just basically giving them some kind of feature to do some. It doesn't really even explain why. So I think a lot of things in D&D used to be like, oh, counter charm. The reason why you're able to counter charm is because you put on this awesome performance and like no one can like, oh, look away. It's a magical performance. Now they're just like, you just save someone and you're like, why? They're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
I know, you just can.
Just you do
Just
it.
do it.
So
Just-
it's definitely,
Just react quickly
as
now.
I'm playing, I'm gonna be like, this counter charm way better. But it is kind of funny. The book now is like, we don't care. Like, it is.
Yeah. You're a bard.
Yeah, you're a bard. Just don't ask questions. This is how it is.
All right, so level 10, magical secrets. We already gave you a little sneak peek about our opinions here, but they changed it kind of in a big way. So you used to learn 2 new spells in addition to all of the spells already known, and you could learn them from any class.
Yeah, that was huge. That was crazy.
That was pretty crazy.
I don't know about you, but you could catch me always multi-classing a bard because it was just the easiest way to get access to literally everything.
Yeah, magical secrets, I guess, was a little OP, but they nerfed it. They nerfed it a bit. So now you do still learn 2 spells, but they do count against your spell total.
Yeah.
So
that's
that's where that spell total teeters off and catches up or reduces.
Plateaus?
Yeah, exactly.
You get it.
Yeah, you get
get
it. You're smart. You get it. And so you still learn 2 new spells, but that's it. And it's from a limited bard, cleric, druid, and wizard only.
Yeah, so they took away the ability to learn from a warlock, sorcerer, and paladin, which I'm gonna guess had a little something to do with them blasts and a little something to do with them smites. They're like, hey, cool it.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to smite, you play a paladin, you stupid bards, and being able to do all these smites with you, which I'm pretty sure you were able to do before, right? If I'm not mistaken.
You could learn like searing smite.
Yeah.
Or certain spells like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it was ability to like take those kind of hyper specific class features and then kind of like finagle them into your bard action by like being able to take from any class. I can admit it was a little Wild West as someone who used it a lot.
Well, especially because you used to be able to learn even more at 14 and then 18.
Yeah.
So you're just racking up all these spells on top of the ones you know from any class. So, okay, it was OP.
To clarify,
it was really cool.
Yeah,
and they
to
nerfed
clarify, they did take away learning the extra spells at 14 and 18. So once you get this magical secrets thing, that's it.
Yep.
Like, you don't get
Level
to learn
10.
anymore. So it counts against and your spells, and those are the only 2 you get. So big nerf. Huge
Yeah.
nerf.
Big nerf. Absolutely. They were like, bards, tone it down.
Yeah, relax. Actually relax. Yeah, that is do you like it?
I don't like it. I don't know. I mean, I guess I thought it was really cool, and
Yeah.
I don't like seeing a big nerf like that. I think especially for like a spellcaster, that's their thing. Let them
Yeah.
have more spells.
Also, like a bard, especially when you're doing kind of just like a classic bard, can be a little squishy, a little non-consequential, or inconsequential. Inconsequential. Prefix consequential. You also get it. I have definitely, as a bard, felt pretty limited in my abilities where I'm like, oh shit, without my ability to do this kind of support or this kind of, I'm kind of like, what do I do? And so having that access and to magical secrets later on really felt like you got to take that and feel a lot cooler
Yeah.
during your turns.
Especially
I don't like it.
I don't like it
I don't
because
think I
it's
like
not
it.
even like you had endless spell slots. You still had
Yeah.
a limited amount of spell slots. You just knew more spells. So you maybe had the spell for the time and the place and the scenario on more occasions because you knew more.
Yeah.
You had those magical secrets. They were secrets of magic and you knew them.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Not a fan.
I mean,
I'm playing a bard now too. And
Yeah.
so I'm a little sad about, this is my first time playing a bard for an ongoing campaign.
Yeah.
And like noticing these differences, I'm like, dang it, I
Yeah.
should have played this before it changed.
Yeah, it's a pretty big nerfing, and I don't. We'll talk about this with other classes too, like my sweet paladin. The really intense nerfings that I like. What fuckery was really happening that this was so imbalanced? Like I don't really know if it was. I don't know if it. Oh, sorry. I don't know if it was really solving for that, but you lost your magical secrets. Sorry, everybody. And then the last overall change to the bard class is Spirit Inspiration. You just got that at level 20. Now you get it at level 18. You regain Bardic when you roll initiative, but now you can regain up to 2 instead of just 1. So now moving on to the bard subclass changes, and we'll start off with the College of Lore. So at level 3, Cutting Words, it no longer specifies that the monster needs to hear you. This change, I don't really think it's that serious, but a lot of the changes in the 2024 Player's Handbook, like kind of mentioned earlier, take away a lot of the flavor and the lore associated with each class. So if you read the old Player's Handbook, a lot of the class features will have 1 to 2 sentences being like, the magic of your surge surrounds you, and because of that, it inspired, like it has like this whole prelude as to why the thing happens the way it does. And the new handbook took away all that sauce, probably because a lot more people are into D&D now, and they're like, these people who just want to play D&D don't care about our sweet lore, so we're taking it out. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's what happened. And so even though they took that part away, I think that's still a rule that's probably up to DM discretion, but they just probably wanted to wordsmith out the complications is my guess for a lot of these changes.
Yeah, it seems like they did a lot of clarification on some things and then, removed certain mentions of lore. And so, it gives a little bit more discretion to the DM, I guess, if they want to.
Just wanted to like certain down the paragraphs.
Yeah. Level 6 for College of Lore used to be magical secrets or additional magical secrets. Now it's magical discoveries. So this is a way to get more spell slots than the base known as a bard or any other of the subclasses. So you do learn 2 more spells from this, but it is still limited to that druid, cleric, wizard, or bard.
Yeah, and it still counts against your bard spells as it does with the regular magical secrets that you get, that every bard gets at level 10. But this is similarly to like that Pact of the Tome warlock feature where it's like, if you want more spells, you have to take this subclass in order to get it. This is their kind of version of that. We're like, okay, you want more of those spells you get from other classes, then you specifically have to play the bard subclass that allows you to get it, which
yeah,
okay.
I guess that's their thing. College of Lore, you know a little bit
Yeah.
more. You read more spells, I guess. How do bards learn spells?
through song.
Through lore?
Not me complaining about, like, there's not enough lore in the new handbook, and then, like, not even knowing the lore.
Yeah.
And then another small change is level 14, Peerless Skill. It now just clarifies that if you fail the roll, then it doesn't expend a Bardic Inspiration dice. But that's basically it for the College of Lore changes. There's not a lot of changes. There's an entirely new class, the College of Dance. Not much to say about this class, honestly. It's just a subclass that allows you extra movement, agility, and speed. Like, that's all you need to know. It's like that's all. Every feature is like you can move faster.
Yeah,
you
lots
move
of movement,
easier, and also you fast again. So that's basically it.
Better. You dance your way through life.
Yeah.
That's me dancing.
Another subclass made official from another book, so this was pulled from Xanathar's, now it's in the official player's handbook, is the College of Glamour. A few tweaks were made.
They added a new feature at level 3, Beguiling Magic. You always have Charm Person and Mirror Image available. Also, anytime you cast a enchantment or illusion spell using a spell slot, they clarify that, you have the ability to charm or frighten an enemy with that.
That's cool.
And in theme, they also specify that is a benefit that's either renewed at a long rest or you can use a bardic.
I like that. That's cool. I mean, we were just complaining about how they're not letting you have as many spells available. So maybe this is like a consolation in this class to be like, oh, you have Mirror Image and Charm Person always available to you. So a little extra space to choose 2 more magical secrets, I guess.
Yeah. That's good. It's on theme. I like that. They also beefed Mantle of Inspiration a little bit too. So it used to just be 5 temporary HP, and now it is 2 times the number rolled on your Bardic Inspiration die. So you have the potential to double that temporary hit points, or it could be less.
Ooh.
And they took Enthralling Performance out completely.
Yeah, that was also at level 3. It was also, I guess that's replaced by Beguiling Magic because it used to be like a counter charm. So it was like a performance to charm people. And now Beguiling Magic kind of allows you to charm people if you cast an illusion.
Charm or illusion.
Yeah, so
Frighten or charm.
Instead of performing people, you can just...
It seems like a fine replacement.
Yeah, because then you also have Charm Person and Mirror always available, but then you just have to cast... Okay.
And an extra cool feature.
This is a change I feel
and illusion spells.
Absolutely nothing about. So we can move on. I'm like, Dad, okay.
That's fine.
Sick. I feel nothing. And then level 6, Mantle of Majesty is basically the same, except like everything else, it can be restored if you expend a Bardic Inspiration slot. As for College of Valor, it's basically the same, except now that you have the access to Weapon Mastery, which is the feature that all martial classes have access to, which allows your weapon to have special properties, push, topple, blah, 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 blah. Allows your weapon to do cool stuff. Every martial class gets it. But that is basically it for all of the Bard class changes. Yay! You're welcome. We read it all for you. We did your homework. We put 2 textbooks next to each other and we compared them all so you don't have to.
You're welcome. And tell us what Bard class you want to play. If you like the changes, if you don't, if you agree with us.
We both like playing Bard, so we actually would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you like this video, we did one for every class. So check them out.
Bye.
Bye.